Hey, what's up, Spooky fam? Today we're gonna take a little break from list videos, from deep dives, from things like that, and we're just gonna have some good old-fashioned fun. And during the Halloween season last year, I started doing, I started reading to you guys Reddit ghost stories or UFO sightings or things of that nature, and I thought it would be fun today to revisit that. So if you guys enjoy this video, please go ahead and give this a thumbs up, subscribe for more, check out all of my links down below if you would like to see any more or support the channel any further. Today I have 5 Reddit stories of hauntings, of sightings, of strange things happening, of scary occurrences, of scary real life things. Just strap in and let's get started. I caught numerous ghosts on my camera. This Reddit user shares, I live in an apartment that is over 200 years old, and I had my then boyfriend over, now ex, for the weekend, and I was cooking us a meal. It was a whole turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy, and on the camera there was a figure of a man sitting at the table. He was all black and looked like a shadow. My table can't be sat at, and it's got too much junk on it, and I've sometimes heard walking in here late at night. It sounds like men's shoes tapping on the ground. One of the comments says, along with a lot of skeptics, one of the comments says, you may have a spirit. Most aren't aggressive, mostly walking, opening doors, banging, moving, or taking things. Set up cameras if you want to be sure. I wouldn't be too concerned. The user shares, yeah, it's a spirit, I know, and no, I'm not afraid. Sometimes he throws things. There's a portal to the spirit world in my bedroom. And the commenter replies, what makes you think that? And still till now there is no response. And I think the most horrific thing about that post is the lack of punctuation. But anyways, I don't know, I feel like that as a skeptic, I feel like I'm a 75% skeptic. As a 75% skeptic, I feel like that, I don't know, the portal, I have a thing about 2 mirrors facing one another being a portal. So unless you got that going on, I don't know what to say to you. And also, when they say on the camera, I'm assuming perhaps it's one of the pet cameras like that people have, or like people that have like security cameras in their home just to monitor things. I'm assuming it may be that kind of situation, but who knows. Moving on to, this is probably the scariest story in this series of things for me. This is the guy at the park, where this user shares, this story happened quite a while ago and it happened to my sister. For context, I'm going to guess that she was in the late teens, maybe early 20s when this took place. She likes to go on walks to the nearby park and to the swings late at night. Typically, no one is there. One night, she went to the park and started to swing. Not too long after she arrived, another person walked up and sat on the swing next to her. This guy was much larger than she is. She's quite small, and was carrying a giant stick. He started to talk to my sister, and she was getting bad vibes. She is a proud lesbian woman, and she has a lesbian flag patch on her jacket. This guy started to make homophobic and misogynistic comments. She wanted to get out of there as soon as possible, but didn't want to just get up and leave in case he started to follow. She texted me asking me to call her, and when I did, she made up a story of an emergency happening at home. She got up and left while still on the phone and looked back, and after she climbed a flight of stairs that exited the park, what she saw was chilling. As she looked back, she saw 3 other larger men emerge from the woods, all carrying giant sticks. She turned the few-minute walk to our house into 30 seconds. I don't want to imagine what would have happened if she didn't get out of there. She took a bit of a hiatus from going to that park late at night. I genuinely think human interaction with people who give off bad vibes is scarier than assuming there's portals in your bedroom. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know, as soon as I read that story, I immediately wanted to share that because it genuinely made me feel like there was a pit in my stomach as I was reading that, waiting for the end of it to kind of unfold. Haunted school. This Reddit user shares, I teach kindergarten in a building that is over 100 years old, built in 1907, and is on the National Register of Historic Places. My classroom is on the second of 4 levels. We don't use the top level at all because it's in total disrepair. Sometimes the auto flush toilet flushes on its own, sometimes things fall off shelves, sometimes the lights flicker for just a moment. I figured it's an old building, that's why. Anyway, last year around parent-teacher conference time, I sent home a little questionnaire for parents asking what they would like to discuss at the conference. One of the questions was, what friends from school does your child talk about at home? Social and friendship skills are a big part of kindergarten, that's why I ask. 7 of the 20 children in the class had Alex listed as a friend. There is no Alex in our entire school. I asked them who Alex was. Imaginary friends are common in young children, but for them to all have the same name was a little unsettling. They said things like the quiet boy. He sits on the stool by the bookshelf always. He cries a lot. I figured it was just their imaginations and they talk to each other about it. Then yesterday we were doing a tidy up of the classroom. I moved some furniture around. One of the kids came up to me and said, Miss Mau Mau, Alex wants you to put the stool back by the bookshelf so he can look out the window when you read stories. I don't like that. One of the commenters says, oh wow, this is crazy, creepy, and cool all in one. Can you do some research of the building and maybe date back to when there may have been a little boy named Alex? What happened to him and why he's stuck there? Maybe you can talk to your students about it, starting with the ones who have actually seen them. The original poster says, I plan to take some of our paranormal investigation tools that I have and see if I can get some EVPs when the children have gone home for the day. It's hard though because there's always background noise in our school and our building is at the intersection of 2 major streets in a large city. And I mean, if random things are just happening and like a thing falls over here and there, like you could chalk it up to the busy intersection area, but all those kids knowing the same imaginary person or like ghost person, I don't want to say that, but it's a little creepy to me, and I feel like kids are so susceptible to ghosts and like, I don't know, vibes and sensations. My mom always reminds me that when I was younger I had an imaginary friend named Cynthia, and I think about that a lot because I don't remember anything ever happening. I just remember, I don't know, saying that I had imaginary friends, but nothing ever like materialized, I guess I should say. I don't know. Strange. Kids are too smart. They're sponges. This post here is actually a comment from a deleted user, and I wanted to read it because we have 5 cats and this just kind of spoke to me. So my cat used to open one of the bottom cabinet doors in my kitchen all the time. I put a child safety latch on it because all the cleaning products were in there. I took the lock off because it made me feel sad to look at it and I didn't need it anymore anyways. About a week after that, I came home and found the cabinet door open. I lived alone at the time, so no one else did it. That afternoon, my friend who was a vet tech at the clinic I took him to called to tell me his ashes were ready to pick up and asked if I wanted her to drop them off on her way home as I had him cremated. This sounds really insane, but when I moved from that apartment, I put his ashes in the cat carrier with his little bed and told his kitty ghost that he needed to get in and come with me. I like to think that he came with me. Put his ashes under the sink at the new place, but haven't found the door open. And I don't know, this could have definitely been the little kitty spirit letting its owner know it's safe wherever it is now. We had an incident over the summer where we were pet sitting and one of many pets had passed away overnight, and I just had a feeling. I had a feeling, but My feeling was that the bird got out and the cat ate it, as far from what happened. Our last story here is called Ghost of a Little Boy, and this Reddit user shares, this happened in the late 80s, 30 years before I was born, when my dad and his two friends, we'll call Carl and Bob, were having a sleepover in the basement. It was around 11 p.m. and they had just finished watching a movie together when Bob fell asleep. So my dad and Carl were talking, and then Carl turns to my dad and says, "Do you see that?" And my dad says, "You mean the ghost of a little boy hovering right above the bar?" And they both looked at each other and ran upstairs. Obviously, when they came back down a few minutes later, he was gone. Does anyone know what this means? And the one comment underneath it says it means there was a ghost. I mean, that's, I don't know, but that just gives me kids with overactive imaginations being kind of afraid, but it also reminds me of Salem's Lot and the kid hovering in the window. Okay, let me know what you thought of those stories if you enjoyed this video. I just figured we would take a little break from movie related content, or like, but we still keep it spooky. You know, we gotta stay spooky around here. So that's gonna be it for me for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, check out all of my links down below, and I will see you guys so very soon. Sayonara, spooky fam.